Welcome into Crescent High School here in Ivy, South Carolina, where the first round of the 2A Boys State Basketball Playoffs are underway. Crescent Tigers control the tip. Kadarius Robinson has the ball on the right wing, passes it over to Darius Groves. Groves guarded up top by Saluda's Reuben Herbert. Handoff goes back over to Kadarius Robinson. Kadarius Robinson gets a screen set by Zach Pratt. Comes free, thinks about a three, passes over right wing to Dawson Davis. Anthony Adger gets it into the hands of the good shooter Anthony Adger, and Adger has 3 points, averaging 20.4 per game, but just like that, Denzel Larry gets 2 more for Saluda in transition. So 3-2 is our score in favor of the Tigers. Anthony Adger nearly has the ball stolen away, passes the ball over to Dawson Davis. Davis reverse lay-in, won't go, gets his own rebound, put back hook shot is good. So Dawson Davis averaging 12.7 points per game, gets a deuce there, and that's going to be a turnover by the Tigers of Saluda as the Tigers of Crescent take over, leading 5-2 over Saluda. Battle of the Tigers here in Ivy. Crescent holding an early 5-2 advantage. Here in the first round of the playoffs, Anthony Adger gets into the front court, has the shot blocked away, but that's going to be a personal foul called on Denzel Larry, the big junior for Saluda. So Anthony Adger will make his way to the charity stripe, shooting 2 free throws. Adger has 3 points already in this ball game. First free throw shot from Anthony Adger, the junior, is up and good. So 4 points on the night thus far for Anthony Adger. 6-2 is your score in favor of Crescent. Second free throw coming up for Anthony Adger, leading scorer on the squad for Crescent. Shot is up and it's good, and Anthony Adger has 5 points in the first minute of play for the Crescent Tigers. Now Crescent's pressure defense going to work on Saluda's offense, trying to force a 10-second violation. Saluda breaks the press, get the ball up the floor in the form of Maurice Howard, who gives it off to Denzel Larry. Larry's shot won't go. Coming down with the rebound will be Jamarian Mathis. And Mathis is fouled underneath the basket. Foul committed by number 2, Darius Groves, as Jamarian Mathis, the freshman, averaging 9.1 rebounds per game, makes his way to the free throw line. First free throw is up and good by Mathis. He is a force to be reckoned with underneath the basket for the Saluda Tigers. Saluda led by head coach Kelsey Stevens. They come in with a third-place finish in Region 2-2A. As that shot is off the mark, rebound comes down to Reuben Herbert. Herbert gets it back to Howard. Howard takes a floater, won't go. Rebound finally going to be brought in by Kadarius Robinson, who is fouled by Maurice Howard. Saluda 14-7 overall on the season, 6-4 in the region. Crescent 15-9 overall, 10-4 in Region 1-2A. Good enough for a runner-up finish behind the Landrum Cardinals. Dawson Davis going to be inbounding the basketball for Crescent. Gets it in to the point guard, Anthony Adger. Adger guarded in the backcourt by Trey Norris, the senior. Adger gets the ball across the court into the hands of Darius Groves, whose shot won't go. Put-back attempt, no good by Rod Chester. And Saluda comes away with a defensive stop, and they hold a 7-3 advantage over Crescent. Ball passed on to the left wing. Stolen away now by Anthony Adger. Here comes Crescent in transition. Shot is blocked away. Rebound comes down to Adger, has his shot swatted out. Rod Chester now kicks it over to Darius Groves. Groves spin move, takes a jumper from the free throw line. Shot will not go. Rebound comes down to Trey Norris of Saluda. Saluda back down the floor on offense. Jamarian goes up with a shot, gets it to fall. Only a freshman, but looked like a senior on that play as the left-handed shot fell. For Saluda, 7-5 our score here in Ivy, South Carolina. Mathis leads the way with 3 points tonight for Saluda. Anthony Adger zips that pass underneath, and it goes out of bounds off of a Crescent Tiger. So Saluda will take over possession of the basketball. Ball will be inbounded by the freshman, Jamarian Mathis. Gets it into the hands of Maurice Howard, the junior. Howard gets the ball across the timeline into Herbert's hands. And that's going to be a player control foul on Reuben Herbert as he's hit with a charge. Good job by Crescent's defense making a stand there, drawing the offensive foul. Dawson Davis will be inbounding the basketball for the Crescent Tigers. Guarding him on the baseline will be Jamarian Mathis. Ball gets into Anthony Adger. Saluda going to back off the defensive pressure as they go into a man-to-man look. Anthony Adger gets the ball across the timeline, guarded up top by Trey Norris, dribbles inside, breaks down the defense, and we're going to have a held ball possession arrow in favor of the Crescent Tigers. Check that, possession arrow in favor of the Saluda Tigers. So Saluda gets the basketball after the possession arrow held ball. Dawson Davis playing defense on Trey Norris. Norris dumps it off to Jamarian Lowry, and they're going to say Jamarian Mathis walks with the basketball. So that will be a turnover by Saluda as Zach Pratt checks back into the ball game in place of Rod Chester. Dawson Davis gets the ball into Anthony Adger. Adger slowly walking the ball up along the left side of the floor. 4:50 to go in the first quarter. Crescent leading 7-5 over Saluda. Adger takes a floater. Shot won't go. Rebound comes down underneath to Zach Pratt, who kicks it out. Shot no good by Kadarius Robinson. Rebound comes down to Darius Groves, and then Dawson Davis walks with a basketball. So that will be another turnover by Crescent as Saluda will be inbounding the ball from in front of their bench. Ball gets into the hands of Trey Norris. Norris walks the ball into the front court. Pass over now to Herbert, who gives it back to Norris, who finds Maurice Howard on the right wing. Herbert passes over to the freshman sensation. Wide open for three for Howard. Shot won't go. Dawson Davis comes away with the rebound. Here comes Crescent on the offensive end. Kadarius Robinson didn't have the numbers. Backs it out. Passes over to Dawson Davis. And Dawson Davis hits the three. He's got 5 points on the night. 10-5 is our score in favor of Crescent. Shot up and no good. Rebound comes down to Dawson Davis. Davis gets it ahead to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson takes a three. Shot is off the mark. Rebound comes down weak side to Anthony Adger. Adger there to clean it up. He's got 7 points on the night. It's 12-5. Saluda finding out quickly. You don't want to get into a running match with Crescent. Crescent getting buckets and getting them in transition. That's an air ball right there. Rebound comes down into the hands of Darius Groves. Groves gives it off to Adger. Adger takes the three. Shot won't go. And we're going to have an offensive foul called against Crescent. And Saluda wants a timeout to talk about it. Out of the Saluda timeout, the Tigers will inbound the basketball into the hands of point guard Maurice Howard. Howard able to get the ball into the front court into the hands of Jawan Jones. Now Howard runs to the lane. He takes a shot and gets the foul. So a nice play there by Maurice Howard, who gets his first bucket of the ball game, and he will also make his way to the charity stripe to shoot a free throw as it's 12-7 in favor of Crescent. Free throw attempt coming up for Maurice Howard. Howard averaging 15.7 points per game, leading the way for the Tigers. Gets one bucket to fall there. 12-8 is our score as Anthony Adger has the ball in the backcourt. Adger guarded by Maurice Howard, able to bring the ball up across the timeline. Screen set by Dawson Davis. Adger passes out to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson shuffles his feet and walks with the basketball. So that will be a turnover by Crescent with 3:09 to play in the first quarter. Maurice Howard bringing the ball into the front court for Saluda in their all-purple uniforms. Has the ball on the left elbow, passes it over to Charles Long. Charles Long off the bench gets a three to fall for the Tigers, and it's 11-12. Long gets a steal on the inbounds pass. Shot won't go, but we have a foul called against Saluda away from the basketball. And just like that, Saluda nearly had a chance to take the lead, but instead they turned it over. Chandler Cresswell comes into the basketball game for Crescent. Cresswell going to be inbounding. Gets the ball in to Anthony Adger. Adger going to walk the ball up into the front court. Adger goes around right side, goes to the lane, gets a shot up and in. Anthony Adger already with 9 points on the night as Saluda comes down the floor in transition. Howard Kicks it out. Open shot for three is up and off the mark. That shot wouldn't go for Jamarian Mathis, the freshman. Dalston Davis had a hand up in his face. Adger takes a jumper. His shot won't roll. Rebound comes down to Mathis, who tumbles to the ground. And the ball is going to be out of bounds off of a Saluda player. Crescent basketball, 2:20 to play in the quarter. 14-11 is our score in favor of the Tigers of Crescent. Anthony Adger inbounds the ball underneath to Kadarius Robinson. Kadarius Robinson, left-hand shot won't go. And now they call an offensive foul on Robinson as he went up to try and get the rebound. Cade Gray not very happy with that call as he's looking across at the official wanting an explanation. And the official giving him one as the ball gets inbounded to Maurice Howard. Howard bringing the ball up the floor for Saluda. Surveys the defense, passes over to the hands of Charles Long, the senior. Long, an NBA range three. Shot won't go. Long rebound comes down to Dalston Davis. Crescent on a fast break. Davis doesn't get the finger roll to go. Chandler Cresswell gets the rebound. His putback shot does go. And Chandler Cresswell extends the Crescent lead to 16-11 with 1:45 to go in the quarter. Maurice Howard going to go hard to the lane. His shot is up and in, off balance, but it doesn't matter as Howard has 5 points on the night. 16-13, Crescent currently leading the way over Saluda. Dalston Davis for three, open shot doesn't go. Rebound comes down to the freshman Jamarian Mathis. Mathis gives the ball back over to Howard. Howard comes into the lane and he's going to be fouled on the floor by Zach Pratt, the sophomore. And that is team foul number 4 against the Crescent Tigers. Saluda has 3 team fouls of their own. So each team with 4 team fouls here in this first quarter of action. A first quarter that's had a lot of momentum changes, a lot of fast break transition points. Ball knocked out of bounds by Crescent. Back over to Saluda. 1:23 to play in the first quarter. 16-13 is our score in favor of the Tigers of Crescent. Maurice Howard takes a jumper, shot no good. Rebound's going to be a held ball situation. Possession arrow going to be in favor of the Crescent Tigers. As the rebound was fought for by Will Sawyer of Crescent and Darius Groves. Check that, Sawyer of Crescent, Darius Groves. Darius Groves of Crescent, Sawyer of Saluda. Pass underneath to Dalston Davis. Davis takes a shot, fouled while in the act of shooting. So Dalston Davis will be shooting 2 free throws for the Crescent Tigers. Davis currently has 5 points in the ball game, averages 12.7, second leading scorer on the squad for head coach Cade Gray. First free throw by Davis is up and no good. Falls off the left side of the iron. So Davis going to get another free throw. Second one is up and it's good. Davis has 6 points and it's 17-13 in favor of Crescent. Maurice Howard passes the ball over left side, feed inside, stolen away by Rod Chester. Chester gets it into the hands of Anthony Adger. Adger drives to the paint, goes up, takes a shot, no good. Contact made. Adger draws the foul, and he's doing an excellent job getting inside, getting contact tonight, as he'll be making his trip to the free throw line. Adger with a game-high 9 points thus far in the ball game, looking to make it 11 on these 2 free throw attempts. First free throw attempt by Adger is up, and it's good. He's got 10 on the night, averaging 20.4 per game. He's well on his way to that average. As Crescent holds an 18-13 advantage, 55 seconds remaining in the quarter. Second free throw by Anthony Adger is up, and it's good. Anthony Adger has 11 points on the night. And Saluda's going to be inbounding the basketball as Will Sawyer, the junior, gets it in to the junior, Maurice Howard. Howard gets the ball across the timeline. Looking to set the play in action. Passes over left side to Chris Christie. Christie gives it back over to Sawyer. Now Howard from the top of the key thought about a three. Passes back over to number 31, Jawan Jones. Jawan Jones has the ball over on the right wing. Gives it back out to Howard. 31 seconds remaining in the quarter. Christie has the ball left elbow. Back over to Howard, top of the key, thinking about a three, passing back to Howard. Saluda going to settle it back down. They may be holding it for the final shot with 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. Howard passes over to Christie. Christie dribbles inside, guarded by Cresswell, and Saluda turns the ball over. Exactly what Crescent wanted to do, as there's 13.9 seconds remaining. Crescent should have an opportunity here for one final shot in the quarter to try to take perhaps a 9-point lead at the end of the first frame. 19-13 our score right now. Chandler Cresswell thinks about a three, going to take a shot, going to be fouled while in the act of shooting by Will Sawyer. So Chandler Cresswell, the sophomore, will make his way to the charity stripe to shoot 2 free throws. Cresswell has 2 points so far in the ballgame. Cresswell at the line. First shot is up. It's no good. And looks like we've got a bit of a confusion here as the officials are deliberating on whether there should be 2 free throws or 3 free throws. Looks like it was definitely 2 free throws, so now one more shot for Cresswell, as there was some confusion from the officials. Cresswell now has one more free throw to shoot. 19-13 our score, 4.9 seconds remaining in the quarter. Cresswell's second free throw is up, and it rattles home. Saluda going to get it in to Maurice Howard. Howard going to lob it over to Christie. Christie gets a shot at the buzzer. Shot is no good. At the end of the first quarter, it's Crescent 20, Saluda 13. Second quarter action set to begin here in Iva as the Crescent Tigers hold a 20-13 lead over the Saluda Tigers. Ball inbounded to Maurice Howard. Howard goes on the right wing, passes back over to Trey Norris, who goes around to Reuben Herbert. Herbert takes a shot off balance, and that's going to be a foul. So that shot going to be it's a player control foul against Crescent, and that's going to be a tough break. I'll check that player control foul against Saluda. So a tough break for the Tigers of Saluda as they turn the ball over on their first play of the second quarter. Crescent going to be inbounding it, get it into the hands of Anthony Adger, the point guard. Adger already with 11 points in the ball game. Brings the ball up across the timeline. Dribbles around top of the key, pulls up, takes a three-pointer, shot no good. Rebound comes down to Darius Groves. Groves pulls it back out. Gets it back to Kadarius Robinson. It goes inside to Rod Chester. Chester takes a jump shot. Won't go. Rebound into the hands of Denzel Larry. Here comes Howard on the floor, and he gets a shot and draws a foul on Kadarius Robinson. So Maurice Howard has 7 points on the night, and he's going to make his way to the free throw line to shoot 2 more shots as a blocking foul is called on Kadarius Robinson. Head coach Cade Gray not liking that call whatsoever. He'll plead his case, but to no avail, as Howard, the junior, stands at the charity stripe. Free throw is up, and it's good. 8-point night so far for Howard, and that brings Saluda to within 4 points, 20-16, trailing Crescent. Anthony Adger passes the ball ahead to Kadarius Robinson, who gets it across the timeline, dribbles right side, guarded, passes back over to Anthony Adger. Adger, nice ball fake, forces the pass inside, and it is out of bounds off of a Crescent Tiger. So Saluda will take over possession of the basketball. Dawson Davis going to check back into the ball game as Rod Chester makes his way to the bench for Crescent. Ball inbounded to the junior Maurice Howard. Howard, the point guard, looks over, gets the play call in from head coach Kelsey Stevens. Howard dribbles around left wing, lobs it inside to Denzel Larry. Shot blocked away by Antoine Buchanan. Buchanan going to get to finish on the offensive end. Antoine Buchanan, the senior, has his first bucket of the night, and it's 22-16 Crescent. Saluda with the basketball. Pass on the left wing to Herbert. Gives it back over, breakdown on the defensive end, and we're going to have a player control foul called against Denzel Larry as Antoine Buchanan steps in and takes the charge. So the ball going to be inbounded now by Dalston Davis, the junior for Crescent. Davis gets the ball into Anthony Adger. 6:35 to play in the second quarter of action. Adger lobs it over to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson gets the ball across the timeline, gives it over to Davis. Davis tries to pass it inside, knocked off the hand of a Saluda Tiger, so Crescent will retain possession of the basketball. Davis gets it into Adger. Adger, ball fake, drives to the lane, tries to pass it to a teammate, unfortunately throws it away nearly out of the gymnasium, as that's a turnover. 22-16, Crescent leading, 6:22 to go in the half. Ball goes to Maurice Howard. Howard has his shot knocked back where it came from by Antoine Buchanan. Buchanan calling for the ball on the block, not going to get it, but Anthony Adger going to add 2 more points to his total. He's got 13. Antoine Buchanan providing a spark off the bench for the Tigers. Pass inside to Lowry. He's going to be fouled by Antoine Buchanan, who has came into the game big time playing tonight by Antoine Buchanan off the bench, the senior. Getting a good spark going for the Tigers. Had a good time. However, Denzel Larry, the junior, will go to the charity stripe shooting 2 free throws. First one is up and off the mark. With 6:01 to play in the first half, Crescent holds on to a 24-16 lead over Saluda. Second free throw is up and no good. Rebound comes down to Davis. Gets it into the hands of Buchanan. Check that. That's Darius Groves. Groves gives it back over to Davis. Davis goes inside to Kadarius Robinson. Kadarius Robinson gets the layup. And Saluda wants a timeout to talk things over. 10-point lead for Crescent, 26-16. Timeout taken by Saluda. They trail by 10 points, their largest deficit of the night, as Crescent has opened up a healthy 26-16 lead over the visiting Saluda Tigers. Pass goes inside to Denzel Larry. Larry gets it back out to Howard. Howard takes a 3. Shot won't go. Rebound going to be knocked out of bounds off of Anthony Adger. And they are going to have a deliberation as to who should have the basketball. They're going to say it is Crescent basketball. So the Crescent student section may have helped right there, since that call took place right in front of them. And the officials would have heard a plethora of boos had that have went in favor of the Saluda Tigers. Adger dribbles into the lane, takes a shot, gets it to fall. Anthony Adger, 15 points already, averaging 20.4 per game. He may have that before the half if he keeps playing the way he is now. Lob pass can't find its target. That pass is into the locker room, and Saluda turns the ball over. So Crescent will take over with a 28-16 lead, 5 minutes, 7 seconds to play in the first half of action. Dalston Davis gets the inbounds pass, comes up, kicks it back out to Kadarius Robinson. Kadarius Robinson passes over to Darius Groves. Dalston Davis takes the 3, shot rattles out. Rebound comes down to the junior Denzel Larry. Larry gives it off to Maurice Howard. Howard gets the ball in the front court, top of the key, passes over to Charles Long. Long's 3 is off balance. Nice save over there by Darius Groves. Dalston Davis now gives the ball off to Anthony Adger. Adger's shot won't go down. Davis's putback is no good. Maurice Howard comes away with the board for the Saluda Tigers. Howard takes a jumper, now passes it off to Denzel Larry. Larry's shot falls. He's got 4 points on the night. And Saluda gets the lead back down to 10, 28-18. As the Tigers trail the Tigers, Crescent showing the way here over Saluda. Anthony Adger dribbling the ball up the left side, in trouble. Passes back over to Darius Groves. Groves takes a shot, won't go. Rebound comes down to Denzel Larry. Larry gets the ball into the hands of Maurice Howard. Howard passes the ball over right wing to Trey Norris. Maurice Howard wide open for 3. He gets a shot and drains it. Maurice Howard having a good night himself, as he's got 11 points for Saluda. So Saluda cuts the lead to 7 as Anthony Adger passes the ball off to Kadarius Robinson. They say Kadarius Robinson shuffled his feet, and that's going to be a traveling violation against Crescent with 3:43 to play in the half. Ball going to be inbounded by the freshman, Jamarian Mathis. Gets it into the hands of Maurice Howard, the junior. Howard brings the ball up into the front court. Surveys Crescent's defense. Looks it over, trying to find the spot he wants to pass it. Gets it over into the hands of Trey Norris. Trey Norris goes back over to Howard. Howard open for three, takes a shot, won't go. Rebound still loose, comes down to Denzel Larry. Denzel Larry gets the putback. He's got 6 points on the night. It's 28-23 Crescent. Ball brought into the front court by Kadarius Robinson. 3:10 to go in the first half. Pass inside to Adger. Adger gets behind his defender, but the shot won't go as Jamarian Mathis gets the rebound for Saluda. Three-point attempt by Long is up and off the mark. Rebound comes down to Howard. So Saluda now with a change of momentum. Maurice Howard's shot doesn't go. Rebound comes down to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson brings the ball up the floor, gives it over to Dawson Davis. Out of bounds off of Davis. And Saluda will take over possession of the basketball with 2:47 to go in the half. Cade Gray pleading his case on the bench. Not going to be overturned. As Saluda has the ball, 2:45 to go in the half, trailing by 5 to Crescent. Ball being walked up into the front court by Maurice Howard, the junior point guard. Pass goes inside to Denzel Larry. Larry going to be fouled by Antoine Buchanan. While in the act of shooting, that'll be the second foul on Buchanan. So Denzel Larry makes his way to the charity stripe, where he has struggled so far tonight in the ball game. First free throw attempt by Larry is up, and it's good. Give him 7 points on the night as he readies for his second free throw. Second free throw by Larry is up, and it's good as well. That's 8 points on the night for Denzel Larry, and Saluda has cut the lead to one possession as Crescent now leads 28-25 over Saluda. Anthony Adger going to be fouled on the floor. That'll be the 10th team foul against Saluda, so Anthony Adger will go to the charity stripe shooting 2 free throws as Crescent will be in the double bonus. Adger already with 15 points in the game, looking to make it 17 here if he can get both of these free throws to fall. First free throw attempt by Anthony Adger is up and off the mark. Second free throw attempt will be coming up for Anthony Adger of Crescent to see if he can extend his team's lead back to 2 possessions. Adger's second free throw is up, and it's good. 16 points on the night for Adger, and a 29-25 Crescent lead, 2:18 to play in the first half. Maurice Howard brings the ball up across the timeline, dribbles around the defense, gives the ball off, shot up and good by Wallace Holloway, the senior. He's got his first bucket of the night. And Saluda again cuts the lead to 2. Dawson Davis goes to the hole, can't get the shot to fall. Ball loose on the ground. Rod Chester trying to come away with it, tipped up in the air. Kadarius Robinson, no, Anthony Adger is fouled while trying to come away with the ball. So Anthony Adger will make his way to the charity stripe to shoot 2 more free throws. Give the credit there to Rod Chester, who hit the deck trying to keep that ball alive for Crescent. Then Dawson Davis able to get an amazing pass away. First free throw by Adger is up and good. That's 17 points on the night for Anthony Adger. Second free throw attempt coming up for Anthony Adger, the junior, is up and it's good. That's 18 points, and it's 31-27 Crescent with 1:50 to go in the half. Shot by Charles Long is up, and it's good. He's got 5 points off the bench. 31-29 your score in favor of the Tigers from Crescent. Anthony Adger brings the ball across the timeline. 1:38 to go in the half. Pass knocked out of bounds by Wallace Holloway, the senior. Good effort there by the upperclassman. Dawson Davis going to be inbounded. 1:34 to play in the half as Chris Christie, the junior, checks in for Saluda. Davis looking to get the ball in. Lobs it in over the top to Chandler Creswell. Creswell wide open for 3, takes a shot, won't go. Rebound comes down to Maurice Howard of Saluda. Howard brings the ball up into the front court. Ball knocked away off of a Saluda Tiger, Chris Christie. And Crescent takes over the ball with 1:23 to play in the half. Ball inbounded to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson gets the ball into the front court. Looks over, finds Dalston Davis. Davis passes back out to Robinson. Robinson goes around left side, takes an underneath layup. Shot won't go. Rod Chester gets the rebound and the putback. So Rod Chester getting the Player of the Game award for hustle, that's for sure thus far, as that shot is up and good by Jawan Jones, the junior. He's got his first deuce of the ball game for Saluda. Under a minute to play in the half, 33-31 your score in favor of Crescent. Chester passes over to Creswell. Creswell takes a 12-foot jumper shot, no good. Rebound still loose underneath, comes down to Dalston Davis, who gets the putback. Davis has 8 points on the night, 35-31. 37 seconds to go in the half. That shot is up and good by Chris Christie, as these teams are now trading buckets down the stretch. 35-33 in favor of Crescent with 25 seconds to play in the first half of action. Anthony Adger has the ball top of the key, takes a long three-pointer. That shot's no good. Going to be saved by Kadarius Robinson. Rod Chester comes away with the ball. He finds Chandler Cresswell, whose three won't go. Ball knocked away by Anthony Adger. Adger gives it off to Chester. Chester gets the putback underneath. He's got 4 points. Saluda going to take a desperation three at the buzzer. Shot no good. 37-33 is your score at the half in favor of the Crescent Tigers. Second half set to begin. Crescent holding a 37-33 lead over the Saluda Tigers. Saluda outscored Crescent in that second quarter, 20-17. Looks like we've got a barn burner on our hands for the second half here in Iowa, South Carolina. Anthony Adger gets the inbounds pass, pulls up, takes a three. Shot is no good. Rebound comes down to Zach Pratt. Pratt gets a shot blocked away, and here comes the Saluda Tigers on the offensive end. Can't get the shot to go. Rebound comes down to Zach Pratt. Pass stolen away from Anthony Adger by Maurice Howard. Howard takes a jumper in the lane, won't go. Anthony Adger comes away with the board. Dalston Davis behind the defense, lays it in and gets the foul. So Dalston Davis going to have 10 points and a trip to the charity stripe for Crescent. 39-33 is our score. Crescent currently leading the way over Saluda. Davis, the junior, averaging 12.7 points per game, has 10 points on the night. Looking for number 11 right here. First free throw by Davis is up, and it rattles home. 11 points for Dalston Davis, and it's 40-33 Crescent. They've got a 7-point advantage over Saluda, and that's going to be a foul called on Anthony Adger for Crescent. Check that foul, actually going to be called on Zach Pratt, the sophomore post player. Saluda going to be inbounding the ball. Tigers looking to get it in. Reuben Herbert, the senior, has the task of getting it in. Gets it over to Trey Norris. Norris gives back to the freshman, Jamarian Mathis. Jamarian Mathis can't get his shot to go. And Zach Pratt again going to be hit with the personal foul, as he's going to come down across Denzel Larry while in the act of shooting. So Denzel Larry going to make his way to the charity stripe already with 8 points in a game. First free throw is up and short. Pratt's going to take a seat as Antoine Buchanan comes in to take his place. Second free throw by Denzel Larry is up, no good. Rebound comes down to the Saluda Tigers. Putback won't go. Saluda comes away with a third opportunity as Maurice Howard, the point guard, finally clears the basketball away for Saluda. Howard dribbles around right side, passes it over to the freshman. Shot blocked away by Dalston Davis. Corralled underneath the bucket by Antoine Buchanan. Darius Groves gets the ball into the front court, gives it back over to Adger. Adger goes to the lane. He's going to be fouled. That foul going to be called on number 34, Denzel Larry. So Anthony Adger will make his way to the charity stripe with a chance to make it 20 points on the night. Not even a minute and a half into the third quarter of play. Adger's first free throw attempt is up, and it's good. That's 19 points on the night for Anthony Adger. Second free throw attempt by Adger is up, and it's good. And the junior has 20 points already in the game. Crescent back to a 9-point lead over Saluda, 42-33. Norris has the ball left wing, kicks it back over into the hands of the point guard. And now there's a three-point attempt by Trey Norris, and it's good. That's his first bucket of the night. The senior gets a three at a crucial time for Saluda. 42-36 is our score. Crescent currently leading the way over the visiting Tigers in purple. Adger feeds the ball over to Kadarius Robinson, who has his pass stolen away inside by Maurice Howard. Howard drives down the lane, and he is going to be fouled while in the act of shooting. So Maurice Howard is going to be making his way to the charity stripe for Saluda. Howard leading the way with 11 points for Saluda. Gets his first free throw up and good. That's 12 points on the night for Maurice Howard. Howard averaging 15.7 points per game. He can have 13 if this bucket falls. 42-37 our score. Shot by Howard, no good. Rebound comes down to Saluda. Put back shot, no good. As Denzel Larry is going to be making his way to the charity stripe. Nice job by Jamarian Mathis, the freshman, who got another board there, 9.1 rebounds per game on average. He's got at least 4 so far tonight. Denzel Larry's first free throw is up and good. 9 points on the night for the junior. 42-38 our score in favor of the Crescent Tigers. Second free throw coming up for Denzel Larry. If he makes it, he'll be in double figures as well. Shot no good. Rebound comes down to Darius Groves. Groves in trouble in the backcourt. Passes it over to Anthony Adger. And the Crescent Tigers are going to settle things down offensively. Going to have a foul called on Trey Norris, the senior. And head coach Kelsey Stevens not very happy about that call, but there was some contact made. Anthony Adger gets the ball in the backcourt. Dribbles it across the timeline, brings the ball into the front court, takes a jumper to the lane, gets a shot to fall. Anthony Adger has 22 points on the night. As Saluda comes down the floor in transition, Dalston Davis knocks the ball away. Kadarius Robinson nearly had a fast break, takes a three. Shot is up, no good. Rebound comes down to Reuben Herbert. Herbert has the ball now, gives it back over to Trey Norris. Norris takes the ball across the timeline. And now he's going to try to settle down the Saluda offense. Pass back over to Howard, top of the key. Howard takes a three, won't go. Rebound going to be kept alive inside by Reuben Herbert. And the senior gets his first bucket of the night. 44-40 is our score in a game that's back and forth, nip and tuck between the Tigers of Saluda and the Tigers of Crescent. Anthony Adger passes that one out to Kadarius Robinson. Dalston Davis open for three, takes a shot, and he drains it. And we're going to have a timeout taken by Crescent. Crescent leading 47-40 over Saluda with just under 5 minutes to play in the out of the Crescent timeout after the big three-pointer by Dalston Davis, who now has 14 points on the night, above his season average of 12.7 points per game. Saluda going to be inbounding the ball, trailing by 7. Saluda's been able to have answers so far when Crescent has opened up a lead. Let's see if Saluda can come up with another answer, or if the Crescent defense can stymie the Tiger offense. Trey Norris passes it over to Reuben Herbert. Herbert dumps it off inside to Denzel Larry. Larry has his shot blocked away. Anthony Adger clears the basketball out for Crescent. Gets it across the timeline, gives it over to Davis. Davis takes a three, wide open, can't get the shot to go. Loose ball, now a held ball call. Possession arrow will be in favor of the Saluda Tigers. Davis had the open look for the three, but couldn't get it to fall, as Antoine Buchanan will make his way to the bench and take a seat. Rod Chester going to check back in for Crescent. Maurice Howard, who has 12 points in the game for Saluda, brings the ball into the front court, passes it over to Herbert on the left wing. Pass goes back to Norris on the right side. Now Herbert gets it back at the top of the key. Herbert on the left elbow, dribbles in, takes a jumper, air ball. Rebound comes down to Dalston Davis, who pushes it ahead to Anthony Adger. Adger dribbles around left side, has his pass stolen away by Trey Norris. Here comes Maurice Howard, who's going to lay it up and in for Saluda. Howard has 14 points on the night. It's 47-42 in favor of Crescent. Adger gets the inbounds pass, brings the ball up the floor. Dribbles it over across the defense, kicks it out to Davis. Davis takes a three. Shot won't go off the top of the backboard. And it will be Saluda basketball with 3:47 to play in the quarter. Chandler Cresswell going to check into the ball game for Darius Groves. Cresswell has 3 points on the night. Inbounds pass goes to Maurice Howard, the junior point guard for Saluda, who finds Trey Norris on the right wing. Norris looks inside for Denzel Larry. Ball poked away by Rochester. Here comes Kadarius Robinson, who lays it up and in. Kadarius Robinson has 4 points on the night. But again, Rochester getting his name called, setting the play up. He's had a huge night, not so much statistically, but here he has a steal, gets a pass ahead to Cresswell. Cresswell gets the ball back into the hands of Chester, who gives it off to Adger. Adger takes a three. Shot won't go. Loose ball corralled by Maurice Howard of Saluda. And that's going to be an offensive player control foul against Herbert. And that's not going to make the Saluda faithful happy, especially head coach Kelsey Stevens. Player control foul called against Reuben Herbert. Crescent has the basketball and a 7-point lead. Dalston Davis will be inbounding the ball. Gets it in to Anthony Adger. Adger going to bring the ball up the floor. Guarded up top. Screen set by Davis. Adger goes to the lane and he walks with the basketball. Cade Gray not very happy with that call as the official calls the walk. Maurice Howard are going to bring the ball into the front court for Saluda. Tigers trail Crescent 49-42 in the latter stages of the third quarter. Maurice Howard kicks it out. 3-point shot. Up, no good, rattles out. Rebound comes down underneath to Saluda. However, Kadarius Robinson is there to steal the pass away. Gets it back into the hands of Anthony Adger. Adger feeds it inside to Dawson Davis. Davis has another layup. He's got 16 points on the night. Ball passed over, right ring, shot is short. Rebound comes down to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson loses the ball. Now Davis comes away with it. Tries to get it ahead to Cresswell, but it's stolen away by Jamarian Mathis. Now Maurice Howard takes a jumper in the lane. He gets his shot to fall. He's got 16 points on the night for Saluda. With just over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter, it's 51-44 Crescent. Kadarius Robinson has the ball left wing, passes over to Dawson Davis. Davis goes to the hole, takes a shot, can't get it to go. Kadarius Robinson gets a rebound up and in, and they're going to say the basket is good, even though it went off the top of the backboard. Kadarius Robinson has 6 points on the night for Crescent. 53-44 our score. 3-point shot up off the mark. Rebound comes down to Anthony Adger of Crescent. Adger passes the ball ahead underneath the Rochester. Rochester lays it up and in. He's got 6 points on the night, and Saluda won't say another timeout with 1:32 to play in the third quarter. Crescent holds an 11-point lead over Saluda. Out of the Saluda Tiger timeout. Saluda going to be set to inbound the ball, currently trailing 55-44. So far, it's been all Crescent here in this second quarter. They've outscored Saluda 18-11. Check that, this third quarter, as we're under 1.5 minutes to play in this third frame of action. Ball nearly stolen away by Anthony Adger. Maurice Howard goes to the hole, can't get his shot to fall. Rebound comes away by Rochester. Ball stolen away. Chester deflects the pass, gets it back into the hands of Kadarius Robinson. Kadarius Robinson brings the ball up into the front court. Dribbles over left side, guarded up top by Maurice Howard. Robinson going to pick up his dribble, pass it over to Davis. Davis, open look for three, gets it to fall. Dalston Davis has the 3-point shot working tonight as he has 19 points in the game. It's 58-44. Crescent has their largest lead of the game, 14 over Saluda. Maurice Howard passes the ball right wing. 3-point shot is up, off the mark, rebound weak side to Kadarius Robinson with 38 seconds to play in the quarter. Anthony Adger going to walk the ball up into the front court. Dribbles around, kicks it back out to Davis. Davis passes it over to Rochester. Rochester takes a jumper from the free throw line. That one's nothing but net. And Rochester has 8 points on the night for Crescent off the bench. Ball being brought into the front court by Saluda's Maurice Howard. 60-44 our score. Crescent with a 16-point lead. 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ball knocked out of bounds by Anthony Adger. Crescent Tigers are looking sharp as they hold a 16-point lead with 9.2 seconds remaining in this third quarter of action. Lob pass comes in to Maurice Howard. Howard going to hold it for the final shot. 5 seconds to play in the quarter. Howard still dribbling top of the key. Takes a long-range three ball, and that one's no good. 60-44 is our score. Crescent at the end of three. Fourth quarter set to get underway. Each team with 4 team fouls as we start this final frame of action. Not nothing to be concerned with right now. But if you're Crescent, you got a couple of fouls to play with, so you can still be pretty aggressive if you're head coach Cade Gray. Davis gets the ball inbounded to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson gets the ball across the timeline, dribbles in left side, guarded by Maurice Howard. Robinson picks up his dribble, passes back over to Chandler Cresswell. Cresswell gets it over to Davis. Davis kicks it back out to Rochester. Rochester finds Anthony Adger, the point guard, and Adger going to be content to settle this down and let some clock roll as he gets inside to Rochester. And Rochester has 10 points in the game. Huge night for the senior as he has had 10 points tonight, but also numerous rebounds, steals, and assists. Rochester, the best all-around player tonight by far for Crescent, as that shot comes up empty, nothing but air. Dalston Davis gets the board, and Anthony Adger begins his slow march up the court. And that may have been the final gasp of air Saluda had left as they now find themselves trailing by 18 points. And that's going to be a personal foul against the Tigers of Saluda, their 5th of the second half. And that will send Anthony Adger to the charity stripe. Anthony Adger already with 22 points in the game, averaging 20.4. So that average is definitely going to increase after the contest here tonight. First free throw by Adger is up and good. That's 23 points on the night for him. If he gets this second one to go through, it'll be a 24-point night for Anthony Adger. It's good. It's a 24-point night for Adger and a 20-point lead for Crescent with 7:05 to go in the ball game. Maurice Howard goes to the lane. Shot is up and it's good. Howard adds 2 more points. No whistle on the contact. Maurice Howard has 18 points for Saluda. He leads the way for that set of Tigers. Anthony Adger, guarded up top by Norris, goes to the hole. Adger lays it in. That's 26 points for Anthony Adger. He has absolutely been on fire tonight here at home. Shot is good by Norris, gets that floater to fall. That's 5 points for him. But if all Saluda can do is trade buckets with Crescent, it's not going to matter. That could be what they need right there as Trey Norris gets that steal. Gets it back into the hands of Howard. Howard goes to the lane, takes a shot, no good. Foul going to be called on Chandler Cresswell as Crescent currently holds on to a 66-48 lead with 6:18 to go here in the ball game. Maurice Howard going to make his way to the charity stripe, shooting 2 free throws. If he gets them both to fall, he'll have himself a 20-point night. Free throw by Howard. First one is up and it's good. That's 19 points on the night for the Saluda junior. Second free throw coming up for Maurice Howard. Shot is up, and it's no good. Rebound comes down to Denzel Larry. Denzel Larry gets a point put back, and that's an 11-point night for Denzel Larry. And Cade Gray opts to take a timeout to talk things over with his team. 15-point lead for Crescent when we come back. .6:14 to go in the ball game. Crescent with a 66-51 lead over Saluda. Dalston Davis brings the ball into the front court. Goes over right side, gives it off underneath the Rochester. Chester going to be fouled while in the act of shooting. So Rochester, who already has a 10-point night, going to make his way to the charity stripe to shoot 2 more and try to make it 12 points on the night for him and try to get the lead back to 17 for Crescent. First free throw by Rochester is up, and it's good. That's 11 points for the senior for Crescent. Again, one thing that Rochester's done tonight has really been an intangible thing. That's hustle, as he has been on the floor numerous times. He's gotten several rebounds, kept balls alive underneath for his team. Second free throw up, off the mark. Offensive rebound comes down to the Crescent Tigers. Anthony Adger now pulls the ball out, passes back over to Kadarius Robinson, who finds Chester underneath. Chester takes a shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Saluda. Here comes Saluda in transition. Maurice Howard going to be hit with a player control foul as Anthony Adger kept his feet set and drew the charge. And that may be the final gasp of air as Saluda's about to unload the bench. A lot of fresh legs checking into the ball game for Saluda. A couple of those guys we don't even have listed on our roster. Ball going to be inbounded by Dalston Davis. Davis gets it in to Anthony Adger. Adger dribbling between his legs, in trouble. Going to have a held ball situation. Possession arrow will be in favor of the Saluda Tigers. So that will be a turnover to Saluda. 16-point Crescent lead, 5:44 to go in the ball game. Saluda not giving up hope just yet. Things are starting to look a little bit more frail for the Saluda Tigers as a young fan makes her way back to the bleachers here in Iva. Lob pass goes up to the freshman. Sorry, that's the junior, Jawan Jones. He has 4 points on the night. And Crescent trims the lead back to 14. Ball nearly stolen away. Adger comes away with it. Ball going to be off the foot of a Saluda Tiger. So Crescent retains possession. 67-53 our score, 5:28 to go in the ball game. Official having a conversation with a couple of the players. Ball inbounded by Dalston Davis. Hits it in to Anthony Adger. Anthony Adger dribbles around the left elbow. Goes inside. Now he's going to take it to the hole. Shot blocked away. Rochester again comes up with the loose ball. Passed it underneath to Adger. And Adger gets another bucket. That's going to be 28 points on the night for him as Rochester gets yet another assist. Ball goes inside. And it's now lost and stolen away. Back over to Saluda. Shot is no good underneath, and that's Rochester with a steal. I'm telling you, Rochester's name may have been called more tonight, even so than Anthony Adger or Dalston Davis, who have nearly double his point total. Adger dribbles around top of the key, goes right elbow, picks up his dribble, passes it inside to Chester. Chester shot won't go. Follow-through shot no good by Darius Groves. As Saluda comes back down the floor in transition, foul going to be called on the floor against Crescent as the big man, Zach Pratt, going to be set to check back in the ball game. This will be a 2-shot foul as number 33 makes his way to the charity stripe for Saluda. One of the few players we do not have on our roster, and of course this time of the year, you oftentimes have players being called up from the JV level. Looking across the way at that Saluda bench, we see a couple of guys inactive tonight due to some injuries. This will be a 2-shot foul for Saluda. 69-53 our score, 4:26 to go in the ball game. First free throw is up and off the mark. So that shot's no good as Rochester makes his way to the bench for Crescent. Second free throw coming up for Saluda. Dalston Davis and Pratt on the block underneath looking for the rebound. Shot is up. No good. Weak side rebound going to be knocked out of bounds by Denzel Larry. So Crescent will take over possession. 4:25 to go in the ball game, holding a 16-point lead. And Crescent has no more fouls to give. That ball knocked out of bounds by Trey Norris. Good effort by the senior who has 5 points on the night for the Tigers. Davis looking to get the ball inbounds. Lobs it in to Kadarius Robinson. Saluda coming with the pressure defense. Robinson passes back to Darius Groves. Darius Groves gets the ball across the timeline. Ahead to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson makes an excellent save. Adger thought about a three. Got Howard up off of his feet. And Anthony Adger's looking to let some clock roll down here for the Tigers. Adger now going to drive inside and going to have a held ball situation, even though one of the officials signaled foul from the back. Held ball possession arrow will be in favor of Crescent with 4 minutes to go in the ball game. 69-53 your score in favor of Crescent. Anthony Adger looking to get the ball inbound and gets it into Dawson Davis. Davis dribbles around right side, loses that ball. It's stolen away, loose on the floor, scooped over to Kadarius Robinson. Robinson has the ball knocked away. He's got it on the floor, gets it inside to Zach Pratt. Pratt's going to have his shot blocked. Here comes Crescent up the floor. Maurice Howard goes up, lays it in. Howard's got 2 more points. That is a 21-point night for him, as there's a timeout taken on the floor. Out of the timeout, Crescent going to be set to inbound the basketball with 3:41 to go in the ball game. Tigers holding on to a 14-point lead over the Tigers of Saluda. Davis lobs the ball in, gets it into the hands of Darius Groves. Groves gives it back over to Kadarius Robinson. Kadarius Robinson guarded on the right side. Ball nearly stolen away. Now it is stolen away by Reuben Herbert of Saluda. Maurice Howard takes a shot, can't get it to go, and Dawson Davis is going to be fouled on the rebound. So Davis will make his way down to the other end of the floor for a 1-and-1 situation. Davis with 19 points in the game, averaging 12.7. Going to have a chance to get 2 more points for Crescent if he can get both of these free throws to fall. First free throw by Dawson Davis. Going to say that foul is on number 34, Denzel Larry. And that is his 5th personal, so he is fouled out of the ball game. Larry comes up with a total of 11 points on the night as he makes his way to the bench to a nice ovation from the Saluda faithful. Good crowd on hand tonight for Saluda. As Davis will be shooting his first of 2 free throw, or first of a front end of a 1-and-1. Davis's free throw is up and no good. Rebound goes out of bounds off of Jamarian Mathis, the freshman. He couldn't corral it underneath the board. So Crescent will keep possession of the basketball. Anthony Adger going to be inbounding it for the Tigers. Looking to get it in. Gets it in to Zach Pratt. Zach Pratt gets his first bucket of the ball game. The sophomore adds 2 and makes it a 16-point Crescent lead with 3:18 to go. Howard passes the ball over to Trey Norris. Norris goes up against the big guy. Zach Pratt knocked away. Kadarius Robinson has it in the front court, and that's going to be goaltending. So that bucket will count from Kadarius Robinson, and he's got 8 points in the ball game. It's 73-55, 18-point lead for Crescent, and Saluda can probably get the buses warmed out in the parking lot. 3:07 and counting to go in the ball game. Crescent with a 73-55 lead. Freshman Jamarian Mathis takes that shot. It won't go. Rebound is out of bounds off of Reuben Herbert, the senior for Saluda. So Crescent's going to take over the basketball. 2:58 to go in the ball game, and an 18-point advantage. Ball gets thrown into Anthony Adger. Adger gets behind the defense, gives it off to Zach Pratt. Pratt gets another layup, give him 4 points on the night, and Saluda holds a 20-point advantage, 75-55. Check that, Crescent holds a 20-point advantage, 75-55, as the Tigers of Saluda turn the ball over yet again. Crescent going to get it in to Anthony Adger. 2:43 and counting to go in the ball game. Adger drives to the lane, takes the shot, gets it to fall. Give Anthony Adger 30 points on the night. He has played extremely big for Crescent in this ball game. Trey Norris' shot is up, off the mark. Rebound out of bounds off of Darius Groves. That'll give the ball back over to Saluda with 2:27 remaining in the action. Will Sawyer will be inbounding the ball for Saluda as the freshman Jamarian Mathis takes a seat for the Tigers. Maurice Howard takes a 3, shot won't go, ball tipped away by Dawson Davis. Here comes Kadarius Robinson down the floor, goes to lay it in. gets stuffed by the rim, and Saluda's coming back down the floor on the offensive end. Davis makes contact with Trey Norris, and that's going to be a foul. That will be the 7th team foul. That foul occurred on the floor. So that'll be a 1-and-1 situation for Trey Norris, who has 5 points in the game. 2:12 remaining in the basketball game. Now they realize that is the 7th team foul. So this will be a 1-and-1 situation for the Saluda Tigers. Trey Norris will be shooting the free throw. The senior has 5 points in the ball game. Currently Saluda trailing Crescent by 22, 77-55. Free throw by Norris is up, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds off of the big man number 40, who yet again we do not have on our roster, with 2:11 to go in the ball game. Zach Pratt's going to check out of the game as the senior Jacob Yamshak checks in for Crescent. Ball inbounded to Anthony Adger. Adger going to take a shot, won't go. Rebound comes down to the Saluda Tigers. 2:03 to go in the ball game. Chris Christie brings the ball into the front court. Shot blocked away by Dalston Davis. It will remain Saluda basketball with 1:59 to go in the action. Charles Long, the senior who has 5 points on the night, checks into the game, along with fellow senior Wallace Holloway, who has 2 points on the night. And it appears head coach Kelsey Stevens is looking to get his seniors on the floor for the final 2 minutes of their high school career. Maurice Howard takes that jumper, won't go. Rebound comes down to Davis. Davis nearly has the ball stolen away, clears it out, gets it into the hands of Anthony Adger. Adger going to look to bring the ball up in front of the timeline, gets it across. Now he's going to dribble left side, and there's going to be a foul committed by number 30, Will Sawyer, the junior. So Anthony Adger going to take 2 free throws. Check that 1 free throw, as that will be the 9th team foul. So it'll be a 1-and-1 situation for Anthony Adger, who has a game-high 30 points tonight for Crescent. Adger leading the way of all players in the ball game tonight, 30 points thus far. Looking to make it point number 31 if he gets his free throw to fall. First shot is up, no good. Rebound comes down to Saluda. Tigers get the ball into the front court, lob it ahead and turn it over, as Crescent will take over possession of the basketball. 1:36 to play in the ball game. Crescent going to their bench as well, as senior Ryan Owens makes his way onto the floor, along with senior Brandon Martin. Anthony Adger gets the ball inbounds. He's guarded in the backcourt by Trey Norris. Adger dribbles around a circle. Screen set by Yamshak. Adger brings his dribble back out. Now Owens sets the screen. Adger looking to run clock. 1:20 to go in the ball game. And we have a foul committed by the senior Reuben Herbert. That will be the 10th team foul against Saluda this half. So Crescent will be shooting 2 free throws in the form of Anthony Adger, who has 30 points on the night. First free throw by Adger is up and it's good. That's a 31-point night for Anthony Adger. Dalston Davis makes his way to the bench now. He's done for the night, as Devontae Richardson, the junior, checks in. Second shot by Adger is up and good. That's 32 points for him. And Crescent wants a timeout to talk things over with 1:18 to go in the ball game. .118 to go in the ball game. Head coach Cade Gray takes the timeout to discuss some things with his team. And Saluda going to be inbounding the ball, trailing 79-55. Three-pointer by Trey Norris is up and good. The senior has 8 points on the night, as that ball is knocked out of bounds off of Anthony Adger. So Saluda check that ball knocked out of bounds off of a Saluda Tiger. Crescent gets it in to Anthony Adger. Adger in the backcourt, going to be fouled. So Anthony Adger going to have a chance to go shoot yet again from the charity stripe, as he'll try to get 2 more points added to his total that currently stands at 32. Anthony Adger having one of the better games of the season, as he has 32 points tonight thus far. First free throw by Adger is up and good. That's point number 33. And Crescent makes it 80-58 over Saluda. Crescent going to advance to play the winner of Newberry and Blacksburg. Second free throw is good. 34-point night for Anthony Adger. 1 minute to go in the ball game. If Newberry wins the ball game, Crescent will play at Newberry. If Blacksburg comes away with the upset, Crescent will play host to the Region 1-2A rivals. Anthony Adger gets the rebound, brings the ball into the front court, passes it over to Brandon Martin. Martin gets it into the hands of Ryan Owens. Ryan Owens takes a three off the bench, and he gets it to fall. It's 83-58 as Ryan Owens hits a three. Shot is up and no good for Crescent. Rebound comes down into the hands of Devontae Richardson. Devontae Richardson going to carry the basketball as that one got tucked away in his arm, and he took about 6 steps with it like he was carrying a football. But give Richardson an A for effort. How about Ryan Owens, the senior, coming in off the bench, hitting the big three. 84-58 our score. That shot no good. Long rebound comes down to the Saluda Tigers. 3 ball up, no good. Rebound comes down to Jacob Yamshak. Yamshak gets the ball ahead to Richardson. Richardson going up to lay it in. Can't get the shot to go. Rebound comes down to Saluda. Under 10 seconds to go in the game. Nice play right there by Brandon Martin. Martin gives it over to Richardson. Richardson has his shot blocked out. No foul called as Crescent has the ball knocked out of bounds with 3 seconds to go in the ball game. Shot was blocked by Will Sawyer of Saluda. Ball going to be inbounded by Anthony Adger. Adger going to lob it into Ryan Owens. Owens going to take a 3 ball, and that shot is blocked away by number 24, Bubba Coleman, the senior. Check that, number 21, Wallace Holloway, the senior. Crescent gets it into Jacob Yamshak. Yamshak shot at the buzzer is no good, and Crescent comes away victorious 84-58 over the Saluda Tigers. Here with head coach Cade Gray, the Crescent Tigers come away with a big first-round playoff victory over the Saluda Tigers, 84-58. Coach Gray, you guys came out in that second half, really made some baskets, forced some turnovers out of Saluda. Tell us your thoughts on the game.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's a big game for us. First playoff win in a while. Being at home was nice. Saluda's a really good team, very well coached. I knew they were going to pressure us hard. I thought Anthony and Kadarius did a great job with the pressure. But the key to the game was rebounding. We haven't rebounded the ball well lately. I knew Saluda was really going to crash the boards, but I felt like especially in the second half is when we picked it up on the rebounding end.
And speaking of rebounding, one guy that had a big night tonight offensively, I can't tell you how many times I called his name, whether it be on an assist or rebound or steal. Rod Chester contributed 11 points off the bench for you. Great effort tonight out of that young man as far as hustle goes.
Huge. Early, I put Rod in earlier. He dropped a couple of balls. When he came out, I said, Rod, I said, you're going back in, babe. I said, but I need you to concentrate and focus, and I felt like he did. I felt like him. I mean, I felt like everybody played good, and obviously Anthony and Dawson played excellent. But Rod, Antoine Buchanan, Zero, he had some big baskets, played good defense. That's probably the most charges I've ever seen a team get in a game that I've ever coached. I know we drew at least 8 to 10 charges, and I mean, you can't, that's something that's hard to coach. The kids have got to want to do that, and Dee and Rod both were big on those.
Also, you had Anthony Adger. You spoke with him, led the way with 34 points. Dawson Davis contributed 19 more. Excellent job for him tonight. When Dawson's got that 3-shot stroking, he's pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, that's a huge thing that we're going to work on this summer is Dawson, like you said, when he's hitting that 3, he's tough. He's really good driving to the basket. Anthony did a good job tonight of taking shots when he needed to, but also kicking it when he needed to, too.
Next up, Coach Gray, you're either going to go to Newberry or host Blacksburg. Of course, Blacksburg, a region rival. You've already seen them twice this year. Newberry, a tough team out of Region 2, 2A.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on your next opponent, whoever it may be?
Both of them's athletic. Both of them run the floor well. Honestly, I hope Blacksburg comes here. But if we have to go to Newberry, we'll be ready. They're very good, very well coached. But if we are playing good and if we rebound the basketball, I think we got a chance.
That's head coach Cade Gray. Crescent Tigers victorious tonight in the first round of the playoffs over the Saluda Tigers, 84-58. We wish them best of luck in the second round and throughout the duration of the 2A boys playoff here from WC Tail.
Thank you.
Wasn't too bad, was it, Coach?